me to discuss what the shaitan. What the shaitan did through the history now, he manipulates Bani Adam in any way he can. He cannot manipulate the animal. Be careful, because animal has no desire. Okay, he can only manipulate you because you have a brain, and he worked on that. And then he started to change everything coming from heaven, from all the prophets. And there is hadith said, I don't know how it is, but they said the prophets, probably, we know only about the 25 of them. But they said about 300,000. So we don't know about them, where they are, when they came to India, to China, to Japan, to Eskimo, only God knows where they come. But always they came with a message. And I also read about a historian was on Channel 12 the other day, was talking about the word Jannah and Nar, Jannah coming from Jannah, and Nar, they found it in ancient hieroglyphic language. And we know Idris, he was in Egypt. So you know that. I don't know if you don't know that. One of the prophets is Idris, one of the 25 were listed in the Quran. Idris, he was in Egypt. What's so funny? Yeah. I know. Something funny that we can laugh. Okay, no problem. So he started manipulating these people, coming from a stage, oh, this is a holy man. Let's build a monument for him. Then monument to change, oh, that's a statue, they are going to ship. So the devil wants to take you away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to worship something other than Allah. What other thing than Allah? To worship people? Yes, we worship people. What else? Yes, they worship people. What else? You worship sex. You worship Anna. Have you ever heard of Anna? Narcissistic? Trump? When you are Anna, it's me, I know everything. That's, you worship yourself, you worship your desire, you worship money. One time the Sheikh was discussing something with a guy in the park for a long time about Allah and just all that. And he said, after all the conversation, he said, I believe in one thing. He said, what? He said, I believe in the dollar. I said, okay. That's what you want to believe, that's fine. So, we said, the shaitan want to deviate you from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah said, you are here on earth to implement my rule, and the shaitan said, no, you are going to drift away. So whenever you do anything drifting, you don't feel comfortable, because that's your instinct. You know what I'm talking about? I'll give you an example. If you engage to my daughter, and you came home, and you have a party, and we invite the whole family, and everybody knows he has my daughter to his fiancé. You go with her to a party, anywhere. He go there, hand by hand, and he's proud. But if he dated my daughter behind my back, he would be hiding behind the seat, because he knows that's wrong. You remember the example I told you about? Gang of 5 people, they went to 90-year-old woman, they beat her, they stole their money, they went back to the cave, and they want to divide the money. Is this what they did fair? Is that what they did fair? When they go to sit down to divide, what they're going to, first thing to say, divide it fairly, all right? You see how the instinct? Instinct, Allah make you, if you tell the truth, you feel good. If you lie, you don't feel good. As simple, that's instinct. That's what Allah made in you. But the devil wants to make you believe otherwise. He twists it, make you look nice, look good. So you go on the stage to worship people. You go on the stage to worship desire. You go on the stage to worship the shaitan himself. And that's the ultimate goal. Can this happen? Yes. Actually, in the United States Army, there is a chaplain for Satanism. It is known religion. So they worship devil. And then came to the new era. When I say the new era, I'm talking about 10,000 years of coming down. It came to the Abrahamic religion, which is started with Judaism. But Judaism started, well, is Tawheed. Tawheed from Moses, and Tawheed from who started it, Jacob. He has a son, Ishmael, and Isaac, and from them came, from Isaac came Jacob, from Jacob came Yusuf in Egypt. And they are calling all La ilaha illallah. This is all nothing. There is no change in any religion. They have the same message. Don't kill, don't steal, don't lie, be good to your neighbor, good to your husband, good to your wife, good to your, and all the same thing, no change. And then the Uzair came. It's just a long story of the Uzair. We have no time to discuss it. Then the Uzair is Ibn Allah, because Uzair, he died for 100 years, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to prove it to them that he became alive, and they think, oh, he's a son of God, and it's an opportunity for the devil to twist things, and he has a son. Well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you think or you bring Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to your concept, you cannot do it. You cannot do it because you cannot understand Him, but you can understand His greatness through you. So, and then after that came the Jesus, and with Jesus, he called for La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. They challenged the other day also in one of the lecture to give me one proof that Jesus said he is God. And then there were a guy by the name, and I don't want to go through this in detail. His name is Paulus al-Rasul. Paulus was Jewish, and he was hated the Christian, and he was again the apostle, the student of, he heard them very bad. And finally he said he saw in his dream Jesus came to him. Wake up your neighbor. Jesus came to him and he told him, why you are hurting my student? Then he believed in Jesus, Paulus, and then from that he said, he is the messenger and Jesus is the God. So start from Paulus. And then it changed to be Trinity. We have it in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. That's another achievement of the devil. So, going back. And then start to work with witchcraft. And that witchcraft is actually from jinn. And I want to educate you in two things. There are two words. In بالعربي سحر. ومن سحر فقد كفر. Who does sihr, فهو كافر. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But in English, there are two words for it. There is witchcraft and magician. Magician, I've been in magician show in some part of the country. We do magic in a way, it's art, it's really art. They hide the plane, they show the tiger. You know, it's art. They do it such beautiful way. Sometime in Fox News, if you want to watch it, in Channel 5, they have a program, they show you those magicians. But witchcraft is the haram. Witchcraft because you have to cooperate with the jinn. And the jinni have ability because the jinni can move fast. So you have to understand, we are a human. You can walk like this because you are 200 pounds and you walk like this. But the same person, if I am on the moon, if I walk the same way, every step I will be moving 20 steps. Why? Because of the gravity. Because I don't weight the same way on the moon, on the earth. So what's is different? There is time different, there is the space difference. And that's in math, and you will study it if you study higher math. What that means? If you go to Jupiter, the day is not 24 hours like here. See what I'm saying? So the guy who died for 100 years, or Ahl al-Kahf, when they were 300 years, they got up, they thought it was only one night. So they are a different time span. So there is different time span here in the Barzakh, in the Judgment Day, there is different time span. So you try to educate yourself. Don't be limited what we have on earth. What we have on earth is different. Okay? Going back. So the jinni have ability to move very fast. And they can do things we cannot do. So in order to do witchcraft, sihr, you have to work with the jinn. When you work with the jinn, and the jinn are divided to too many parts, like a human. Some of them are Muslim. And some of them are Christian. Some of them are Jewish. Some of them are atheists. And when they are really bad, they call them shayateen. And they are the unbelievers. And if they were really corrupt, mujrimeen, they call them ifrit. But they have different type of life. But in order to do witchcraft, you have to work with them. And the first condition for you to work with them, you have to step on the Quran and pee on the Quran and demean the Quran, the word of Allah. That's why in Islam, man sahara faqad kafar. Who does magic, Umar ibn al-Khattab ordered their killing. Wherever you see magic, you kill them. So, all the magic now, it went all to India. So all the magician, all that witchcraft stuff, all in India. And to a point, they don't even have one religion in India. And I'm here not criticizing anybody. I studied that in college. I mean, this is major religion. I'm talking in the 20th century, 21st century. So, they have so many gods in India. The tree god, the dog god, the mouse god, the rat god. Everything is God. The river is God. Well, that's what the devil does. You see what's happening? Yeah. And then they have classes. They said, those are people, the religious, the monk, and kahana in Arabic. They are made from the mouth of God. The second step, the army, they were created from the arm of God. And their job to protect the monk and what they call barhani, the monk or the. And then they have from the leg of God the businessman and the farmer, and they are supposed to serve the other two classes. The class, the cassette and that. It is really important to study it and take that course when you go to college as elective, called Natural Geography. They don't talk about river and mountain, but talk about the people. And show you what these people around the world, what they think. And then you can appreciate what you have. And then the last class is made from the foot of the God, and they were only to serve the other three classes. Okay, so far? Are you with me, so? And then came to Islam. Then came to Islam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because this is the last message, He has to protect it from deviation. He cannot let it get corrupted like Christianity, Judaism, whatever its religion was before. He has to protect. What did God said to protect it? Anybody know it? What God need to do to protect Islam from corruption? I am going to protect that Quran. Nobody can mess with it. There are so many kinds. Changing word in the Quran, changing letter in the Quran. On YouTube, you will be surprised, 1,000 attempts. They could not do it. I challenge anybody who memorized the Torah or memorized the Bible. How many people memorize the Quran? And with one letter, they will, no, it doesn't sound right. It's one letter missing. So why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised, I'm going to protect it, because that Quran is going to last until the judgment day. So nobody can mess with it. So that's a promise from Allah. But then, Islam spread so fast at that time, destroyed the Persian Empire. And I have to say some history. I have 20 minutes. I have to say history. Persian Empire was very powerful empire. For 600 years, fight with the Roman Empire. And you heard about the Roman Empire. How strong was it? But we didn't hear much about the Persian Empire. 600 years they were fighting. So Persian Empire was a great empire. Umar ibn Khattab destroyed that empire in no time. So they run to China. You don't think we have superpower now? All the time, China has a great culture, India have a great culture, the Scandinavian have great culture, the African have a great culture. We have superpower then. So they went to China and said, what are you going to do with this? There is a storm coming called Islam, destroying everything. And the Chinese said, I don't know, there is nothing I can do, but I can help. And then in Yemen, there were some people, they call them Jewish, but they are what you call Qibala. Qibala go in Google, start with the K, Qibala. They are atheists, but they say they are Jewish, but they are not. And they believe in reincarnation. You die here, you are there a cow. You die here, you are there a mouse. So between those, there's a guy over there from Yemen, his name Abdullah ibn Saba. They got teamed up. What are we going to do? We have to sit down and study this phenomenon. It's wiping every culture around us. What are you going to do? Well, put three heads together, three culture together, three ideas together. There is no way you can attack this deen face to face. So you have to go within. How am I going to go within? Now, subhanallah, Sayyidina Umar was killed by Persian guy. You don't think Abu Lu'lu'a came by himself and he killed him, and he killed another 7 Sahabi at the same time, and he killed him in the mosque. So it's only Umar killed. It was it was done by group of people. Get that? Okay, Umar gone. Now Uthman. They approached Uthman. They said, Uthman, we would like you to change the Quran. The Quran is phony and there's a mistake in the Quran and there's missing stuff in the Quran. And I'm giving you the story as short as possible, because if I'm going to discuss this, it's going to take lecture. And I have a picture of the Quran. The Quran, Sayyidina Uthman collected, printed, write it, send it to 7 different parts of the world to protect that Quran. So he reserved that Quran. Anybody knows what that, how weight that Quran was? It was 80 kilograms. It's 170 pounds. 170 pounds. I have a picture of it, but I'm not going to waste the time to find it now. But if I did, I will show it to you. Okay? Because one of the battles, they said, they raised the Quran. Nobody had Quran at that time. This is all lie. But they raised the Quran. I have the picture. This is in the museum in Turkey. So we have to go from inside. So they killed Uthman because he refused to do it. And then he went to Ali, he said, we'll go to Ali. And subhanAllah, there is always somebody in this nation will protect that deen. Maybe one person, but will protect that deen. And his name is Muawiyah bin Abi Sufyan. Muawiyah was the Khalifa in Damascus, Syria. And he said, how could you kill the Khalifa of the Muslimin? You don't follow these people, they are 6,000. But the Prophet said, if a whole city make an alibi to kill one person, the whole city will be executed. So long you are part on it, you are going to be killed. So, they have Ali now, they ask Ali to do the same thing. To help us to, because that Quran is not good. Because all the Sahaba became kuffar and they are not became a Muslim. Can you do that? He says no, they kill Ali. And then, some people, they have the wide vision, they know what's going on. Some people, they are naive. And Sayyidina Muawiyah said, you know what? This is it. I am going to, though there were 6,000 people in Medina who came to kill Sayyidina Uthman. And the same people, they went with Sayyidina Ali. Sayyidina Muawiyah, he decided to protect the Islamic Empire. And he did. And then he hired somebody. Okay, I have to go back a little bit. The problem with the Quran with the Arab, there is no problem. Because the Arab know Arabic and they can read the Quran, they can understand it. And they cannot be fooled by other story. But they were lost all the way to China. And all these people, they don't know Arabic. And they are learning Arabic. And they start the fitna by telling them there is something against Islam, they deviate from the Islam from within. And in order for that to alleviate, and the people read the Quran, they don't understand it well. And there is a guy by the name of Air Force, etc. In China, just for you to know, and you go back, if you're really a little bit intelligent, go back and check it out. The China allocate $19 billion just to improve that project. The European Union spent $70 billion. The USA spent $1.1 billion. That make you disappointed as an American citizen? Well, in no time, with just $40 billion to Ukraine, $14 billion to Israel. That's a quantum computer, $1.1 billion. China, $19 billion. Supercomputer, remember that, supercomputer can make a complex problem in math. To be resolved, you need a chip. To be resolved, take few years. Quantum computer in a split of a second give you the answer. You see what's going on? Just think with me. Let's go back to our original story. Before Ramadan, we talked about the devil. The story of the devil, very interesting. Did anybody remember what the stages the shaitan do? How it works with him? Anybody remember the first step, second step, third, fourth step? Please. Nobody remember? What happens to the information? Then the shaitan come right directly to say, don't believe in God. He come direct to you and just say, go kill somebody. Doesn't want. How do you start? Well, thank you for that. I just wanted to know the shaitan, the iblis, the Satan, whatever you call him, has no authority over you whatsoever except whisper. That's all. Don't ever say, or anybody said, if you became an attorney, the devil make me do it. That's not true. The devil has no authority to get your hand to do anything. He can only whisper to you. If anybody tells you other than that, he's lying. I really want to go back to what we said last time. Can the shaitan direct you to bow to somebody? So how we start? You remember? He whispered to you, number one, and then you start to surrender yourself to him, and then he overcomes you, all emotion, all thinking, and all that. And then when you are under his control, what he's going to do? You're going to be his slave. He's going to tell you what to do now. And you're going to obey. Oh, you start with little cigarette. Oh, let's go to the party. What's wrong with the marijuana? Oh, no, this Kennedy. Ketamine for party. I don't know if you heard about ketamine, and I know you did. And I don't know if you know, ketamine now, they use it for withdrawal from drug. It's affecting the bladder and destroy the bladder. And all these kids use ketamine. They have a bag now for their urine in the back. Here, destroy their bladder. Just for you to know. So go in stages. What's wrong with the party? And then you meet that girl and she persuades you, and you go from one step to another step until you really go downhill. Right? That's it. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I told you, do not worship him. Ya Bani Adam. When he talked to Bani Adam, by the way, he doesn't mean only men. He meant everybody because he came from Adam. Ya Bani Adam, don't worship a shaitan. You don't worship it by bowing, by listening to it. That was what we discussed last time, right? You got that? You get that? So for you, you said, you know, Allah never said, do not commit adultery. He said, do not. Pakistan, Azerbaijan, Kurdistan, Uzbekistan, all this time the area. And they start to manipulate in the Quran, those three, China, Persia, and Sabaiya, together. To manipulate the Quran and all that, he said, because the people can read the Quran, Quran has no dot and no tashkil, no a, o, e, all dot. So, Al-Hajjaj ibn Yusuf al-Thaqafi, he make dot for the Quran. Like, كلمة خبز, if you don't have a dot, this is khibz mean bread. This could be her, could be jur, could be jiz, could be a lot of words if you don't have the dots. So Al-Hajjaj protect Islam by making the dot in the Quran and the tashkil for all these nations who doesn't know Arabic to protect that Islam. That's part of the miracle of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إني نزلت الذكر وإني أنا حافظ. I will take care of that Quran. So he make Al-Hajjaj. But who make these stories about Al-Hajjaj? Who make these stories about Muawiyah? Who make all these stories about the Umayyin? Is what became later on Al-Arfad, Al-Shia, which is today is Iran. You got it? There's nothing personally against Iran or the Shia or any denomination. That's not what we're talking about. But that's what the motion is. You got it? That's why it was protected. So that's the summary what happened. You understand what the Shia came to? Who is 12th grade now? 12th grade? So you were last year when we talked about the Shia, do you remember? You want to talk about that? You want me to get you that lecture again?
Yes.
Who is interested? Raise your hand. Okay, so next lesson.
We always ask questions about that.